Hey guys, welcome back to Dividends Friday, and today is a very special edition because today is my birthday, 19th of July. Thank you for all the lovely flowers from my fans. But anyway, today I'm going to celebrate with all of you guys by giving away my latest copy of my book Financial Joy 2.0 for free on Amazon. For the next 24 hours, I'm giving away this for free. Anyway, for today, I'm going to be sharing with you how to search for ETF on this website called Morningstar.com. It's a special edition because I've gotten many requests asking about ETF. Now, let's go on to it right now. So, what I'll do right now is I'll be typing this website called Morningstar with this word called ETF. Once you go onto this website, you can see morningstar.com/ETF. This is the URL here. And what I'll do is I'll be going to the tools and clicking on this thing called ETF Screener. Now, if you have not logged into Morningstar before or you have not created a free account, they'll ask you to create a free account. Creating an account is free, and once you have done that, you can go on to this screener. You can see that this is the screener for a lot of the ETFs around the world, but mainly listed in the US stock market. So right now, what would I do with this screener? I'll be adding some criteria right here. Clicking on here. Personally, I like to go to valuation. For ETF, I'll use this valuation called price over trailing earnings, which is a P ratio of ETFs. I'll add this criteria. You can see right here, the criteria has been added. And what I'll do is, I will be looking for ETFs with P ratio lesser than 15. This is my own personal criteria. I want to look for ETFs with low P ratio. And to me, 15 and below is something that's reasonable. At the same time, I'll take away the other criteria right here. And that's where you can see there's like 500 over ETFs with P ratio less than 15. You can see that they have given a range from 4.4 to 15 because very likely the lowest PE ratio they can find in their database is actually 4.4. You can see right here, these are the number of ETFs that you can search here, and with a one click of a button, you can go for the ones with the lowest PE ratio. If you have not understood what is PE ratio, you can do a search on it. But basically, it is like a valuation for ETF, and it's something to show like the lower the number it is, the cheaper it is. Anything higher than 15 to me is actually overvalued. Of course, it is relative to depending on how fast the country is growing or how fast the sector is growing, but this is quite a good general rule. Now you can see the lowest is Nigeria ETF, followed by Russia ETF, P ratio 4.4, 5.18. This is a relatively simple way to judge an ETF. It is effective as well because I think studies have shown that if you buy stocks or ETF with low PE ratio, mainly stocks actually because ETF is relatively new, but you buy stocks with low PE ratio, this is a high chance you'll be able to buy them at undervalue and have potential growth. Now, you want to add other criteria here. For example, you want to go for categories. You can find example sectors. You can actually search for ETF with different sectors like consumer, cyclical, energy, financials, or if you want to go for international, like country-based ETF, you can see that here. There's China region, there is Latin America. And now, I want to zoom in on something very interesting called Pacific/Asia x Japan stock. What this means is we are searching for ETF focusing on Asia, but we are excluding Japanese stocks. Now, why is that so? This is very simply because Japan is a very developed country, and developed countries typically in most investors' eyes do not have as much potential to grow as compared to developing countries, so they exclude Japan. This brings me to the stock for Dividends Friday because now I've been taught wherever people are excluding things or ignoring things, that's where there may be potential. This week, I'm going to look into Japan. Stock I'm going to talk about today is actually Japan Morningstar. You realize that in most of my videos, I'm using this particular website, Morningstar, and I think it's very useful, it's very powerful. And the interesting thing is this, Morningstar Japan is giving out dividend yield of 4.4, which is pretty decent. And when we go to the key ratios, let me just show some interesting portions of it. You can see that the revenue is increasing steadily over the years. So is the net income. Can you see that? The earnings per share has been steadily growing as well. So the dividends, needless to say, has been growing as well. So this is in Japanese yen. We can see that the payout ratio, there's a certain concern right here, 113.7%. They are giving out more than they are making. But you can see overall, they have been conservative. Cash flow is stable. Net margin is really good. It's like 12%, growing to 20%. This is the kind of business that I personally want to invest in. companies with huge margin. Okay, and lastly, the interest coverage is actually zero. They have literally no debt. So this is the stock this week. Japan Morningstar, very interesting, 4765. So this is the stock this week, Morningstar Japan, and I hope that you have learned something this week. Do me a favor, comment below on what other questions you have so that I can have more ideas. Every week I'm thinking of ideas on what to be sharing. So if you have any questions for me, type in below so that I can answer you next week. I'll see you guys